Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of American Odds, the American Gods recap show. There is a storm coming, and we're here to get you through it safely. I'm Tom Bennis, and with me is the divine Cal. I keep forgetting what we settled on.
Cal the creator.
Cal the creator.
What's going on?
How's it going, man?
Hey, everybody.
Not much, man. So I think we might as well get right into it. Episode 3, called Head Full of Snow.
And you know how much I love snow.
Yeah, you've been right at home in this episode. I would have not been pleased, but so we got a little something different this week in the beginning. The past 2 episodes we got the coming to America, like the origins of how gods showed up in the land, and now we have something in America, and it was really cool because it was like spray painted on the side of a building. I thought that was really interesting. How did you feel about that? I know you like Egyptian mythology, and that pretty much.
Okay, so I kind of turned away my head for like the first few minutes of not the first few seconds of the episode, and I happened to do it both times on the rewatch as well. So I didn't notice it said something in America. Is that what it said?
Yes, it said something or somewhere. I'm sorry,
somewhere in America. Okay, and so that was cool, and I was so excited to see Egyptian mythology finally. But like, there's a little question to it, right? Because she's like, I'm Muslim, so like I don't know why you were here, but like as soon as that door opened, and like I knew that was gonna be Anubis. Like that was crazy, and I was like, oh, because that cat like reminded me of like Bast, if you know Bast. That was kind of like remind me of Bast. And then the whole the judgment thing was awesome. Like I just really, this was my favorite. I mean, besides I guess all the opens are good. I should say, I shouldn't say this is my favorite, but I really liked it because I like the Egyptian mythology a lot. So, but they've all been good.
Kimber was telling me that breed of cat, the skinless cat, is called a Sphinx cat.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. And how did you like how they handled the death, where they didn't even show her like stumble and then get up, like it just happened?
So wait, so she died from the fall, and they just didn't show that, or was it she just died of old age and she just collapsed?
No, I'm assuming she fell, but the way she saw it, she didn't fall at all. Right. She was just existing. Like she didn't even know the bottom.
I liked it too, and after when she realized she was dead, like the whole conversation in the beginning was funny. She's like, "If you're here to rob me, I have a TV there, whatever you gotta do." And first, she's like, "The black family's upstairs," which I thought was hilarious. Like, it was just a nice like sense of humor kind of thing. But I liked how she tried to keep her modesty when she like, "This is how they're gonna find me," and she like pulled her skirt down a little bit. Like, it was very touching. That whole scene was nice, and she accepted it and everything. And even the conversation.
They talk about it in the afterthoughts at the end of the episode, and we can come back to it at the end of the episode, but this is a cool foil for what we get later at the end of the episode. Death.
Yeah.
And what we get to later is a rejection. So it's kind of cool how they bookended it like that. And it was cool that they name dropped the Duat, which is the
different realms.
Yeah. And I thought it was really cool. And the Egyptians believed that like tombs were the portals between worlds, and to have like the different faces of tombs set up like that, I thought was really cool.
And Ma is what like represents like it's usually represented by the ostrich feather, and that's why you see him putting a feather on the to see which, you know, if she's going to be judged going towards eternal hell, damnation, or towards like salvation.
Yeah. For anyone not familiar, Anubis, when you die, you go down into the underworld, and Anubis weighs your heart against a feather, and if your heart is heavier than the feather, then you lived a poor life, and you are going to pretty much the hell equivalent. And I mean, I think it was depicted really well. When I read the book, I pictured him as Anubis. You know what I mean?
The jackal head or whatever, like the.
Which is fine. I understand what they're doing. They will probably get to that later because you know, most of the characters we meet are reoccurring characters. Mm-hmm. So I like that segment. And then we pick back up.
How about that conversation they had? She's like, my father abused me. That's not where I want to go. So like, it was kind of like, so what do you think he ended up, do we find out? Like, I don't know, like, do we find out where he ends up sending her? Because like, you know, she's like, which door, you should tell me which way to go. And he's like, then the door just opens. And she's like, are you sure? Because I want to see my sister or whoever she says she wants to see.
Not only that, she goes, yeah, I don't want to see them. And then she goes to the door because she asks him, "You're
Yeah.
a kind boy. Which one should I go to?" And the way he reacted with her, and he was a very gentle Reaper. You know what I mean? It's not like he humored her and tasted her sauce and complimented it. He was a very I don't think he has any malice towards anything. I think he's fair. I think if she was a bad person, he may not have been so kind. But I liked how she brought up, if I follow you, am I gonna end up in a different place?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because all my Muslim family, that's who I want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then she just pushed by the cat.
Yeah, so it depends. I don't know for sure if she comes back up. I don't think she does.
It's funny because Corey's saying that Mavis is best.
She's the best.
Yeah.
So all right, so that was the beginning segment, and then we have the regular episode, and it's the night before Chernobog's supposed to kill Shatner, and Shadow's asleep, and then he gets woken up by the youngest sister, who is on the roof checking out the stars. What did you think of this?
I think the scene is really cool. I like she's very innocent seeming. She's like she wanted to have her first kiss and all that. But I don't know if we want to talk about this yet, but about the moon plucking out of the sky and getting the coin. And she said you already had the sun. Was that referring to the coin that he got from Matt Sweeney? Because that was a gold coin.
It was a gold coin, and there was a sun pattern on it, and there is an interesting correlation with that family. Okay, so after this scene, we briefly see Odin and the older sister talking.
Yep.
And she talks about, my job was to hold open the gates for my father, and then who would go to sleep under a satin of black, you know what I mean, like a black blanket. Their father is the sun. So when when he says you had the father, now you have the daughter, they're referring to
the moon.
that girl who is like a moon deity. Yeah. So it is really interesting how how it shows that she has like some control over like the moon and stuff like that.
So it's kind of like Egyptian too, right? Where they have like Ra as the sun, and then who is it, like Net or something, like was a dark as a night.
Yeah. Well, for most ancient cultures, the sun god was there's like the sun god or sky god is the first. So it's very interesting. But we have after that encounter where he and I loved how she was like, "Oh, kissing's disgusting," but like a blue cheese or a brandy, like a nice disgusting, which I was kind of like laughing about.
I hate blue cheese, by the way.
I love blue cheese. But she also says some interesting things. She's right when she meets him, she says the buffalo is waning,
and that's what he saw in the dream, right?
Yes. So there's something more there we don't know. And she also points out that Ursa Major is also called Odin's wing. And
wing like W-I-N-G. I didn't hear what she was saying. What, it's a wing or wig?
I think it's wing. I don't think it's a wig.
Okay.
It'd be funny to picture Odin with a now I'm picturing Odin and Hedwig. I don't think they're really combined. But it's also interesting when she's telling her fortune, and not to jump the gun, but she says, "You lost something recently," and he goes, "My wife," and she goes, "No, not your wife." And as we know from episode 2, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So I think that was everything with them. So we get a challenge, an old calendar.
Remember, he wakes up the next day and he goes up to the window and he sees that ladder isn't there. So he's still wondering did he dream all that? But then he pulls the coin out of his pocket and is like, that did happen.
Yeah, which I thought that was a really interesting way to do it. I also really liked the teddy bear on the telescope, which bear is very significant in their culture, and that's what she's watching for in the sky to make sure that doesn't get out. Speaking of bear, our buddy Matt is in the chat along with our friend Candace. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So after he meets her, though, he kind of gets this like I don't know idea to re-challenge him, and give him a second blow to the head because and Kimber pointed this out, like Shadow really picks up on Chernobog's self-doubt, like that he's an old man now and everything like that. And this was a really interesting back and forth.
Because yeah, he went on to say like the episode right before this where he's like, now it's just so easy that anyone can do it with like, that little gun, but he took pleasure doing it with a hammer, but he hasn't used it in a while, so that makes sense. Like you never know.
And did you find it interesting that Chernobog pretty much played the game the exact same? Like Shadow makes a point to say you're playing the same game.
I feel like he just has like that one way to play, and if he doesn't, he'll get you the first time, but then if you ever played him again,
which there are plenty games like that where you can pick up a strategy, and if like I'm thinking chess, like how there's like the 4-move checkmate, but like if you don't act on it right away, you miss your opportunity. There are plenty of methods of playing games like that, so I could see that as being like a strategy of war, like a blitzkrieg, which is more kind of Norse, but still old culture.
But so they worked out a good bargain, right? So we see that Shadow one this time, and he's like, so I'll go to Wisconsin with you, but then I'll kill you. And he goes, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
I love when they do that.
How did you like Odin and the older sister? That kind of, you think that there was a relationship there?
Yeah, they definitely were banging in the past or something, or whoever they are. There was there's something definitely going on between those two. The way he like brushed her, like when he came in when she was brushing her hair and he was being intimate, and then they went up for the walk, and she's like, I could taste the rain and all that. So and they kissed and all that. So there's definitely something going on.
I can taste you on the rain,
yeah.
Which is like that's some notebook writing. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
I was waiting for him to say, "What do you want? What do you want from me? Tell me what you."
Now she also takes Wednesday's fortune. And did you see what was in the tea leaves?
Was it a wolf head? Or I don't know.
No, it's the silhouette of a woman.
Oh, well, okay. I knew it was a face of something.
Of a woman's face, yeah. So
and
my question to you,
you're gonna lose too,
and you're gonna fail. Yeah. So my question to you is: do you have an idea of who that could be?
It could be. Well, if we talk about who's coming at the end of the episode, like that could be the competition for Shadow's attention.
Okay. I think another contender could definitely be maybe media, or they're also doing a lot more with Bilquist.
Bilquist, yeah.
So I don't know if she's gonna have a hand in, like, I don't know what they're like. That's kind of a nice thing for me because I'm gonna be a surprise, but I'm also kind of concerned that it's going to like affect the story. But I thought episode 3 was one of the closer.
Well, I feel like Bilquist is one of the old gods, isn't she? So wouldn't she be joining?
She's a super old one, and when I'm gonna talk about her when we get to the cabbie, because they like historically they are connected.
Okay.
So that's interesting. But let's see. So we talked about it. You're gonna lose. Stacy on the rain. I'm just reading my notes here. Oh, so the Wednesday decides that they're going to rob a bank.
Yeah. So that was funny. He's like, I'm gonna get coffee or whatever, right? Let's go rob a bank or something. Yeah. Whatever he said, it's so like nonchalantly he said it as a matter of fact. It was so funny.
Yeah, for sure. And then so then we're brought back to Matt Sweeney, who's still at the Crocodile Bar. And he's on the John, passed out. And I don't like, even for just waking up from definitely a bender, he is like still super charming. Like, it's so funny. What did you think about this?
That was hilarious because like he still thinks I guess he has luck, like the luck of the Irish. He's like a leprechaun or whatever. So, but when she said, I know he's like, it's just gonna ricochet or backfire. Like he had that confidence, but when she actually shot and that glass flew into his face, and he knew, oh shit, something's wrong. And then after that too, with the car ride was hilarious too, because he's like, as soon as that happened, he's like just sitting there like, oh god, here goes. He didn't like react.
I love that actor too, who played the like Alcoholic Anonymous sponsor. He's from Kids in the Hall. I can't think of his name right now, but he's great.
I remember
Um,
watching the show a long time ago. And he's like, "Are
yeah,
you a rapist? Are you a murderer?" All that stuff.
yeah, which is funny because me and Kimber were saying like, yeah, okay, like like anyone's gonna get the jump on Matt
Yeah.
Sweeney. Like, he's huge. Um, so yeah, we see the Final Destination scene where the pipe goes
Yep.
through that guy's face, and this is where like I really like because in mythology, Sweeney is cursed.
Yeah.
So like this kind of gives you an idea of like, oh, this is his natural state.
He's supposed to like
Like
wander, right? He's always cursed, and he's
yeah, and he's kind of like cursed to wander and like have battle lust and stuff like that, which we see like um I have neighbors coming through the hallway blasting uh music. So just give me 1 second.
can't hear on this end.
Oh, good then. Okay, it was really loud over here. Okay, so yeah, it's funny when he's like running his pockets after he
Yeah, and all the
realizes
coins.
the coin's missing.
But you don't. He didn't. He didn't realize until someone's like, "Wow, that's a bad chance of luck," or whatever. Like in one of the EMTs or whatever says that was bad luck. He didn't realize until then.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I think he was. I don't know. Like, it's kind of hard to like think of like Mad Sweeney's train of thought because I don't know what his plans were for when he was going to wake up on the toilet. If he hadn't had been like woken up with a gun. Um, but yeah, it took that. But I'm sure, like I was saying to Kimber, I'm sure he's seen much worse, and that this is kind of like nothing to him. Like this is just like, oh, this guy was bound to happen. But then he was like, oh wait, this might be my fault. And then he's looking, and gold coins are just going everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't wait for some like vagabond to come by later and just be like, gold. Um, but yeah, so he goes and he realizes he has to track down Shadow because obviously that's who has it. Um, and then we get another somewhere to America or somewhere in America, and I thought it was really cool the first time. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with the scene. I'm saying the setup for it because the other ones, the Coming in Americas, they were in that narrator's
Right.
writing in the first one, and then they did something cool where they like made it like current, like this is somewhere in America. This was
Like
so I was
perspective, more
like,
perspective than narrative.
yeah, but this one had the guy's writing on it, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of weird. That kind of takes me out of it. But I mean, that's I'm nitpicking, but yeah, I don't know. It was enough for me to write down. But we meet the salesman, who is obviously Middle Eastern descent, and trying to get business ties in America. And the poor guy, he's in there for like 7 hours, man. The trying to meet that guy.
So all the stuff you were telling me before, that's like backstory you read from the book, like because I didn't pick that up in the show.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And Candace, you can correct me in the chat, and I'm sure you're gonna want to call in and probably talk about this anyway. But he briefly talks about his brother-in-law and how much like his brother-in-law hates him and stuff like that. In the book, it talks more about his wife and how he's not happy. He's actually gay, but he's kind of ashamed of it to the point where like the only gay experiences he has is like in alleys with like strangers. Like it's never anything like romantic or anything like that. It's just that's how he that's how he's getting like through it. Um, but then like I don't know, maybe it's because it's like he's obviously like enraptured when he realizes. Well, let's talk about him meeting the
Yeah.
cabbie and everything like that. But at this point, he is not. The only reason he smiles is because he literally says "You're naked
Right.
in America without a smile," and he's trying to get through it. Let me read this real quick. She's so much worse to him. Oh yeah, in the book, the boss does come through, and then like they totally ignore the fact that like, and I almost said that to Kimber. I was like, he went to lunch, but she never like left the thing. So yeah, I was wondering if there was more to it, but yeah, you're right in the book. But he meets the cabbie. The cabbie we recognize from episode 2, and the cool thing about it, and we can get more into it later. But in season 2, I'm sorry, not season 2, in the second episode,
Yep.
he's wearing this salesman's suit. He's wearing that powder blue suit when Shadow walks by him in the diner. So this implies that this story happens
prior,
but probably before the show opens. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like this may have happened down the or up the line, I guess.
Years prior, right? You're saying?
Yeah. Maybe not even years, maybe like a few months. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But it definitely happened out of sequence. So, they talk about their experiences in America. He's a cabbie who, is driving for 30 hours straight with no sleep. He's a salesman who sells shit, and no one wants to buy his shit. And, the cabbie falls asleep, and we kind of see a softer side to the salesman where he's trying to, touch his shoulder, wake him up, and there's a little bit of intimacy there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jin's sunglasses fall down, and you could see, the fire in the eyes that we saw in the second episode. So he realizes right away what's up because his grandma, once saw.
Yeah.
And he uses different words. He uses Ifrit. He uses Merid, which are all different classes of Jinn. And for most people who don't know what a Jinn is, they're like the basis of what genies are. They're like the equivalent of demons, but they're not necessarily bad. There could be good, bad, kind of bad. You know what I mean? Like they're on a whole different spectrum. But in Muslim mythology, I believe at least in some of it, they believe that angels, men, and jinn all exist, were created by God, or Allah. So it's cool that he recognizes him right away because of the fiery eyes, which Ifrit is usually they're people of flames. Did I miss anything, Cal?
No, I don't think so. I'm trying to think. No.
So, but most people, they think of them as Aladdin genies. You know what I mean? You get 3 wishes, blah, blah, blah. And he makes a point to say, that's not what we're all about. And in the Old Testament, or at least in some Judeo book, Solomon, and who was the husband of Bilquis, the Queen of Sheba, he enslaved a bunch of jinn. In fact, he ordered a bunch of jinn to bring him the throne of the Queen of Sheba. So we almost like that marriage is almost responsible, or it was almost because of the jinn actually coming through and bringing her, bringing her the throne. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too. I do like the funny story about the shit. Like this guy shit in my back seat, and then you see like the salesman like leaning the bench forward, like a wet shit.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, and so I feel like the salesman definitely sees like his fall from grace, and is kind of like empathetic. He shows empathy towards it because he's not having a great go at it either, and it must be comforting in some way to realize that like a deity of some sort or mythological being of some sort is going through the same stuff as like a regular person, like that you're not like alone in this. So like I kind of got that vibe going through, and I might be like connecting a little dots that might not be there in the show because I've read the book. But you could definitely get this, like, you could see each other, which is kind of funny because of how things turn out, but you can kind of see each other in the other person. And then, and it's, I also wanted to write this because jinn are also associated with, like, bones. A lot of people think that, instead of, like, lamps, you would use the bones of a person to make a jinn. In fact, I forgot about this. Anne Rice, one of my favorite Anne Rice books is called Servant of the Bone. And it's about a jinn, and it's really good. It's one of my favorite books, and I need to get a new copy because I can't find it. But I wanted to say that here he's associated with boners because we get a long lovemaking scene here, which I think visually was stunning.
It kind of reminded me of like Life of Pi. Like it's very colorful and vibrant.
And it's cool because they talk about jinn, some people believe that jinn are never even physical manifestations, that they're just concepts that exist in like the plane of thought. So like when you get like an idea of something, it may be the like a jinn whispering in your ear, or like just a surface thought could be like not blamed, but like attributed to a jinn. So they kind of brought you into like this weird metaphysical world, and I thought that was really interesting. It felt like an Animal Collective music video too, which I have no problem with. But it was definitely I thought it was beautiful. Um, so I'm trying to like I think in that scene alone, like it was a little it was definitely more intense in the book, um, and that's fine because I remember it was funny because at the same time I was reading this, I was also reading a lot of Allen Ginsberg, and he's like a beat poet from the 70s, and he has like a lot of homoerotic like visualization in his poems. So it was really cool to like get like two kind of like different aspects of it. And I thought they did a good job with the show. They also reportedly, Kimber read an article that so far in the show, they have shown more dick than all of the TV shows in 2016 combined. Which, yeah, Kimber literally just wrote equal rights. Is awesome because, as you know, Kimber kind of complains about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. What I have to say about that scene though too, also like it was cool like when they went to that metaphysical world or whatever, that Ifrit's eyes are always still like that fire, and then it was you could see through his body as well, and I think it transferred into the other guy for us. I think at one point, didn't it? Like when he came or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's because they were done. Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely. I was telling Kimber, I thought that was really cool how the fire came up through and out the other dude's eyes and mouth. And yeah, it was just a really cool visualization. But you know, the salesman wakes up the next morning and he's not there. Not only is he not there, his suit's not there, and
also his bag. Yeah, I noticed like his bag of whatever he was selling was
his baubles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he finds the guy's wallet and the cabbie license, and the dude literally just takes over. He becomes the cabbie, and this is where we see how the jinn gets the suit, because obviously he takes the suit, and somehow he has to be able to control like the size of clothes somehow, because this guy's tiny compared to him, and the suit fits him really well. But that's cool. I kind of like that. Gives him kind of more of like a mystical thing about him. But and the guy even like he laughs about it when he goes into the cab, and he's like, "I do not grant wishes." Yeah. Do you think because on one hand, yes, he doesn't have to be a salesman anymore. This could be a new life for him. At the same time, now he's going to have to clean shit out of back seats. So, like, is it a wish granting kind of thing where it's like, okay, here's a new life for you? Or is it kind of just like giving him like the bullshit he doesn't want? He's like, I'd rather try to sell shit than have to clean shit up.
Well, see, like, until you told me what was really going on in that scene with like, when you told me like, oh, the jinn was wearing the salesman suit in episode 2, I didn't notice any of that stuff. So I thought the way I saw it, seeing it for the first time, was like that he became the jinn now.
Oh.
And that's why he said, I do not grant wishes. Like getting, now he's the one like carrying on the.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading what Candace is saying. That's another thing too. Another motivation for him was his sister and her family. Right? Am I reading right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kimber's saying jinn are tricky, and yeah, traditionally there has never been like it's like a monkey's paw situation. Like the Jafar, like in Return of Jafar, he's a closer aspect to what jinn are kind of like. But they're like, and there's benevolent jinn at the same time. But I did think that the connection between jinn and the Queen of Sheba is really interesting. All right, we're getting low on time on the recap here, so let's keep going. All right, so what did you think about the robbing the bank?
I loved it. Okay, yeah.
The setup for it is, think snow.
Yeah.
So, and that's when they're going and getting their business cards for the con and everything like that. But what did you think about that?
Well, first of all, I was saying if I had that power, if I had Stephen of power, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Odin had anything to do with. I mean, Wednesday had anything to do with it, or himself. But that if it was a power, I would love that power because I would love snow. But I was like wondering, what are they doing? Like, what are they trying to do? Like, what are they trying to set up? Like, what are they getting all these deposit slips? Are they really gonna just write on the slip and say, "Give me all your money" or whatever? I had no idea what was going on. So
Yeah.
the way it was played out was fantastic.
Well, this is the second time that Snow has been attributed to. The first time we meet Shadow, not only is he talking about I'm playing with this clown nose that Kimber got me for Red Nose Day.
Red Nose Day.
Yeah. So not only do we get him talking about snow in this episode, but in the first episode we had him talking about he could smell snow coming. He says it. So there is some kind of correlation there. I don't know for sure who's doing what, but it is interesting. And I like the little marshmallows to give him that like give him a little foci, like a little focus. I saw the little car. But yeah, the con was cool.
I was like, what? Why is he standing by the phone? Like I didn't understand until I saw like I'm like, oh, the cops probably got to call that phone, and that's gonna be pretend to be their home base, and it worked out very well. It was great. I think it was well done. But I didn't understand why the fact that people would trust a random guy on the sidewalk just taking money from people. That's kind of ridiculous. And he wasn't armed, was he? Because like, wouldn't you want an armed guard taking the money from? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. That's just another license you have to have. So like if he got pulled over, the cop saw that he had a gun, he would have had to provide like a gun license too. So probably makes his story better.
Right, but I think they wouldn't. If you're transporting money, like you'd need a gun.
Yeah, I don't know. It worked out.
I mean, it's just small
people are
detail.
pointing out he didn't even use the deposit slips in the book, but I feel like it's just kind of like that's how banking is nowadays. So in order to do it, I don't know. Kimber says black dude loitering, instantly suspicious. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, she says that's one of the ways they didn't update the show. Yeah, you're not wrong. We never got to talk about my problems with last week's episode, but that's in the past. And
so after that, they just take the money. What do they
Oh
want
my
the money
God.
for?
Candace is killing it. Candace is killing it in the chat. She just brings up the point: why the hell is there a payphone?
They sell them in the city. So wait, so after that, they just need the money for travel?
Well, I mean, Wednesday's supposed to be paying Shadow.
Okay.
People are yelling on the sidewalk.
So then they keep driving, right? That was they collect money, and then they start driving, and that's when they see the wolf, right?
Yeah, and we know that the wolf is attributed to a lot of mythologies,
like Ragnarok.
Yeah, for sure. But we also know that wolf is kind of a totem of America.
Native American too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So this could be anybody, and Kimber even said, it could be Shadow himself, maybe, who had brought this wolf here. We don't know, because wolves are kind of all over in mythology. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, definitely. So, I mean, because we were trying to say that maybe Shadow might be, especially because of his name, he might be Native American, even though we said he was black, but you never know. Like, so that could go towards him. But I could be also Ragnarok, so you never know.
We never talk about his dad, so it's interesting. All right. So what's really cool about the con scene is not only does it work out, but we kind of see him shine in this scene too, on the phone talking to the cop. Like he's very
Myers, yeah.
You can kind of see it looks like he's kind of learning from Wednesday, which we already know he was kind of in the game beforehand, but like you can kind of see him like performing at this point. And what I really liked when they were wrapping it up was how Wednesday was talking about how America doesn't know what it is, while other cultures they know exactly what they
Right.
are because they've progressed
Right.
entirely into that point. And he makes a point of going, you crazy people either believe in gods or ghosts, and so he says this, to someone we presume is a god. And the next scene he runs into.
Well, wait, we're not there yet because one thing we have they have the dinner, the Chinese restaurant or whatever it was, and Matt Sweeney finally catches up to him and goes, "Give me my coin,"
Right.
and he's like, "I don't have your coin anymore." He's like, "Well, where is it?" He's like, "I threw it out." He's like, "Where'd you throw it out?" He's like, what is it called? Eagle River or Eagle Rock or whatever it's called?
Eagle Point.
Eagle Point, and he's like that. He hits him with a good jab. He's like, "Oh, I'll be one of the next guys in line to get on top of your dead wife or whatever." And so then you see him leave. So this is when we had that concurrent shot of Shadow walking into a room, and you see Matt Sweeney digging up the grave, and then he sees a hole in the casket. So we're supposed to presume that the coin burned its way through, and he rips off the casket door, looks at it, looks at the thing, and then we don't see what he sees until after, and then that's what you're trying to get at now, right? Where Shadow walking through the room, looks up, and then you see the casket. There's nothing in the casket, and then she goes, "Hey, Poppy," and that's how it ends.
I don't think she's not saying Poppy. She's saying puppy.
No, Poppy.
No, it's puppy.
Really?
Yes.
But why does it like Poppy? Sounds like it.
No, it's puppy.
Oh my
And
God.
her friend even kind of makes fun of it because when he's standing there in front of the grave the first time after finding out the whole Robbie situation, she says, "Oh, look at you! You look like a fucking puppy. Like I hate that. Like blah, blah, blah."
Definitely sounds like she's saying Poppy though.
I guarantee you.
I know. I'm just saying it sounds like it.
What do you think in the chat? She could be saying both.
Next week's poll: is she saying Poppy or Puppy?
Kimber just popped her head in and said it says puppy on the subtitle.
Okay.
Yeah, subtitles. Yep. Yeah, I'm not a fan of her delivery either. I hope she gets better. Sorry, Candace was commenting.
Yeah. I'm watching it.
But yeah, and that was the end of the episode. So what do you think is
happening now?
Yeah, I didn't watch the
after
previews for.
Oh, I forgot what happens in the previews. I'm trying to think.
That's fine. I'd rather be surprised.
I'm pretty sure that's with Matt Sweeney and media maybe again. I'm not sure, but the end of the director's thing. I don't know if you watched that.
We did.
Okay, so that's like because they said the same thing that you said. I don't know if you got it from there, where they said the two bookends of.
Yes.
That's where they said that. So I was like, oh, you picked that up too. So.
No, I credited them in the beginning.
Yes, I think it was. This was a great episode. I like the Anubis in the beginning. That was great, and this whole journey that they're going on. This was more. This was better. I thought instead of staying in one place for so long, and the whole Chernobog thing that kind of slowed it down with the sisters and Chernobog. I like that, but I like how it just moved. Like they kind of picked up the pace a little bit in this episode.
Yeah,
and we got more of everything.
Perpetually going faster and faster.
I think we touched upon more, as in like we got like with the sisters and Chernobog, and then we got the Jinn, we got Anubis, we got Matt Sweeney. Like I think it was just great that we touched upon a lot of stuff. So.
All right. Well, I brought in one of our favorite people, definitely one of mine, Kimber Barrett. She's with us to talk a little about it. Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
So what did you think?
Oh, I liked it. I thought it was another good one.
You did a poll again for us this week, and again, this was actually I'll have Kimber use the specific number, but we got a lot of feedback on this poll. And I just want to give a quick shout out to American Gods Cast on Twitter at Cast Gods. Check them out. They definitely did us a service by sharing our stuff. So thank you guys, and be sure to check them out at Cast Gods. But what do you got to say?
Yeah, I posted the poll this morning, and I believe that there was like 60 votes on it. So I asked what everybody's favorite storyline from this episode was. The first choice I had was the scales, and that got 26% of the vote. Mad Sweeney's Bad Luck got 21%. The Salesman and the Cabbie ended up winning the poll with 48%, which I thought was awesome. And the second Checkers Game only got 5%, and I feel like that might have been Joe. But yeah, that's the poll.
Thanks, Joe. I agree. I like that scene too. No, there's a lot of them. I may have voted for the Cappy scene.
I vote for Matt Sweeney because I just love his character. Like, you remember, I think last week we were talking about I couldn't find myself connecting to any characters or liking them. I really like Matt Sweeney. He's hilarious. Just everything he goes through, it's just funny.
Yeah, and it was definitely nice to spend some like one-on-one time with the character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shot where he was like pulling the shrapnel out of his face too, and the like Final Destination like scene with the guy. Like, that was brutal and it was awesome. I was a big fan of that.
And he just sat there unfazed as like the car's like going off the the road. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Well, he's not surprised. He knows exactly what's up at that point.
Trying to think what else. Should we bring? You want to see your buddy Candace? Candace available?
Always.
Let's bring her in. Candace always has something to say about American Gods, and it's great.
Why don't you tell them what we're up to tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Oh man, tomorrow is our first episode of Twin Peeps. Me and Kimber's Twin Peaks show. Now that it's coming back after a 27-year hiatus, longest cliffhanger ever. I'm excited. We're gonna go over Fire Walk with Me, which we're watching right now, and we're about 2/3 of the way through it. It's longer than I thought. And we're gonna have to go back over the show quickly before tomorrow. But oh no, Candace isn't caught up with what? Not with the show.
This show she's caught up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's so hard for me to keep track with the chat at the same time. See what happens when you're not next to me?
She might be talking about Twin Peaks.
Oh, all right. Well, we will be doing a recap for Fire Walk with Me, which is the prequel movie, season 1 and season 2. We'll probably do it season 1, season 2, and then Fire Walk with Me because
that's how it shows. Even though Fire Walk with Me is a prequel.
Yeah, it just gives a lot away, so I would never recommend to watch Fire Walk with Me first.
Do it in the order of the show. Do season 1, season 2, and then
we're gonna do the movie. So that's tomorrow from 8 to probably 9:30. I'm assuming it'll probably take us about an hour and a half to go through all that.
It's a lot. The first season's a lot longer than the second season.
Yeah, well, the second season had problems.
Yeah.
Corey, Twin Peaks is coming back on Showtime.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you also gonna mention the Dueling Spires episode of Psych?
What?
You never saw Psych, Dual Spires, whatever? They did because Twin Peaks was James O'Day's favorite show as a kid, so they did a spoof episode in Psych called Dual Spires or whatever. It was so funny.
I haven't seen that.
They had all the actors from it and everything.
Oh, really? They had all the actors?
Not all of them, but like a lot of them.
The Andrew or Eric Andre show, they did like a weird Twin Peaks opening one time. That was really funny.
The Simpsons.
That Homer's like, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, that's going on from 8 to probably around 9:30 tomorrow. You can find the links for all of our upcoming live shows, including next week's OSP, which is our mythology episode, finally, right, Cal?
Yes.
And,
finally.
It's called Delightful Deities. All of the links are up on the website at www.oddshapedchannel.com, and that link is down in the description.
Also, I'm making a fan request for the Twin Peaks finale. I request that you dressed in a red suit, and Kimber should be Laura Palmer in the white dress in the red room.
I just wrap her in plastic.
Yeah, no, the red room when when Laura Palmer's wearing the white dress, but then you guys had to talk backwards though, the whole finale.
You buy me a red suit and we'll talk about it.
That's one of the best
Um,
scenes ever, by the way. The guy's like just
Oh, he's great.
yeah.
We were watching like a fact video where everyone got, because what they do is they have everyone say the words backwards and then reverse it to get that effect.
Mhm.
But that guy he already like trained himself how to talk backwards, so he didn't need a coach, which was really funny. And a cool effect for like back in the day. A lot of like, it had one of the first like CGI effects like weirdly on TV. Like I'm trying to think of the doorknob scene with
Yeah, with the face on it.
yeah,
With Josie.
Shows yeah.
yeah. But
I
yeah,
can't
I'm
wait to
looking
talk about this
forward to
tomorrow.
that. That's tomorrow night.
Where's Candace?
I don't know. I was just asking her if she got an invite. If not, we're gonna.
I'm while we're vamping, I'm really curious about how they're gonna do the time transition. Because it's supposed to take over right after what happened at the end of episode 2.
No,
Oh, if you remember, Cal, Laura in the Black Lodge.
I know she says you won't see me for another 20 years or whatever it is.
25 years.
20, yeah.
So it's taking place 25 years later.
Okay, but you remember when he at the end what happens, and he smashes
he's
the
old.
mirror.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing is.
well, spoilers. Be careful, because
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it tomorrow, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, they talk about it more so in Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it there. Hi, Candace.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys tonight?
We're doing
Very
good. How
good.
are you?
Pretty good.
I'm wearing a Kimber hat.
So cute.
Thank you. So what'd you think?
So it's
Here we
growing
go.
on me a little bit. It's growing on me a little. Like I said last week, I've kind of been struggling, but almost conquering the art of ignoring the difference between the book and the movie. I mean the show. It's definitely been a little bit difficult because like I just read this, so now it's kind of like I'm almost considering stopping reading it right now because it's starting to get a little confusing because I think I remember something in the book and then I go back and I check it and it's something that like my memory just like made up, or like there's things like the other day you and I were talking on Messenger about media and you were like, oh, like her entrance in the book is like a little bit nicer, it's a little like richer of a storyline, and I didn't remember meeting her, and then I looked back in the book and I was like, oh, I did meet her. So it's starting to erase all my memories of this book, so I think I'm going to stop until it's over so that I don't like mess myself up, because like I'm getting turned around and frustrated and all that garbage. So
Yeah, what I was saying was the scene in the book felt, because it was in his hotel room, and even the part where she was like, oh, do you want to see Lucy's tits? Like that, the whole scene felt more intimate because it was one-on-one.
definitely.
And like that felt like something he could get away with. He like having that in the department store on like 8 TVs.
Yeah.
Seemed a little bit weirder, but I understand why they did it, because they actually can play with visualizations, and why not?
Right.
I also felt like he was the only one seeing that too.
Yeah, I agree.
But you know
I
what they
think
say,
that-
like
Mhm.
in like Percy Jackson, they're always saying that there's like a mist, and like they say in like other like Rick Riordan novels that there's always like a mist that like normal people can't pick up what's going on between like gods and demigods.
The veil.
So maybe that's what's happening too.
It's
Yeah.
the veil. That I think that's actually a pretty common theme in mythology and stuff, like lifting, like this idea of lifting the veil. Like if you read accounts, not just Mallory's Arthur, like the original, but if you also read like the Mists of Avalon, for example, like there's like a veil to Avalon, even though Avalon exists in the same plane as our world. Like there's like a veil that has to be lifted by somebody who is in the know, like somebody who understands like their universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Cal, are you referring to like the ether?
Yes, the ether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool, and there's definitely elements of that here for sure. But again, it is, even if he is the only one okay, so you're the only person in the department store, but porn shows up on the TV. How are you going to react? Like, you still are going to react in some way that other people are going to think you're a crazy person.
Mhm.
But maybe they don't see that person either as like maybe they see him as like just watching TV. Kind of, I mean, like you don't see his same reaction. Is what I'm trying to say. Like that's how they explain it in the Percy Jackson novels and stuff. So,
Well, I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit like maybe not on his end. We don't know. We don't know anything about Shadow or anybody, to be fair.
I know that he's not appropriate. He doesn't have appropriate responses to things. Like he's this man that like was in prison and is clearly some kind of badass and is like, I don't know. He's like, he has nothing to live for. Like he's a man who has nothing left in the world. And like, he is so chatty.
He believes in nothing, so he has nothing.
This is what I'm saying though. I mean, he shouldn't be so like jazzy all the time. Like he's real jazzy.
Well, speaking of jazzy, real quick, because we didn't get a chance to talk about it, I hated Anansi.
Terrible.
Like, here's the thing, and I'm just gonna put it out there. If gods could see all of space and time, then we wouldn't need fates.
True.
Or any other kind of fortune telling, or any of that kind of like.
Totally agree.
Like the whole like Kronos, you're gonna end up eating your kids. You know what I mean? I'm warning you. Blah blah blah. Oh, hi.
Yay!
Hi, how was Florida?
Good. How was Anansi?
I hated it. I feel like everyone, like, we saw the desperation from the Viking people in the first episode, and I feel like this is a much worse situation.
Yes.
So
Well,
I feel
felt
like
that
everyone would be.
I felt that
he was
dude.
amazing.
Yeah, he was good.
And I'm not saying I wouldn't want them to be like cut on everyone else, but like I feel like when he's like leading the prayer, like a Nasi, and then you can hear everyone like echoing him. I feel like
Or at
that's
least, like,
more
some
powerful
crying
than
in the background.
you
or
could do it like
something.
you could do it like slow percussion, and I feel like that would be more of a fitting tribute.
I feel like
But the whole thing made no sense.
This show likes to sanitize at the same time as like shocking you. Like I feel like it's the most sexually explicit show that I've ever seen in my entire life, possibly even the most sexually explicit movie outside of like a porn.
It's pushing.
But
it's trying to get the edge on Penny Dreadful.
it is, man, because I mean, Penny Dreadful didn't even have like an eighth of the nudity of this show. I mean, it is crazy, and they show all kinds of erections. Like I've never seen an erect penis on television.
Yeah, no, it's bonkers. It's awesome. Yes.
So like,
more erect penises on TV is what
agreed. I have no problem with it. I'm just saying that like I don't understand why like. So you have this like shock value, right? Like you decide that you're gonna fucking update this story, even though you're not taking out payphones, you're gonna have cell phones and dick pics on cell phones, which is kind of ridiculous to me, but that's fine. So you have this like anachronism, and you update it so that you can have cell phones, and then you have this gigantic cock in one episode, and then you have this other gigantic cock in the next episode, and like that's fine. Like that's fine.
Is there a new way to send dick pics?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Shadow checks Laura's phone in last episode. Remember?
I thought you were implying that there's a newer way to do it. I'm like, man, I'm behind on the times.
No. If I ever find that out, you guys will be the first to know. For sure. But like, I'm like, okay, so if you can show me a really ridiculously sized hard penis in 2 back-to-back episodes, you can show me fire jizz. You mean to tell me you can't show me like an appropriate depiction of slavery? There's not even any women or children on the ship. Come on, guys. Anyway, I'm sorry. You guys know how I feel about this already. You already know.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to get into specifics, but historically they were separated because they were like, I don't want to get into the dirty aspects of slavery. Like, but
she's just saying it wouldn't be a bunch of like
just
fit
only
young
dudes.
Yeah, like there would be different types of people, like
right. And they were separated by floor. And I think like in the first like early days, like right as the Middle Passage was like beginning, they did, have like roomier areas to sit in, but that was just like hanging out at the gym in a locker room. You know what I mean? Like that was just like,
I would have almost, we can run a little bit. Heard if like that got brought the chat.
Yeah, listen, gay people have sex too, guys, and homophobia will not be tolerated in the chat.
Oh no.
Especially because everybody likes different stuff. Like, I was not offended by that scene at all. More of that for me.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But
beautifully shot.
I would have preferred if they like brought that up in the speech though, like in his prayer, like, well, what about, we want to burn down the ship? What about the women and children? Like that at least would have been like, okay, they're there. You know what I mean?
Well, they did say his mother got thrown off the board or whatever. So like, yeah, because he was like, "Where's my mother? I haven't seen her." And then when he came in, the first thing he said was, "She's long dead."
Oh, the swimming thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally undercut that, the whole which I mean, yeah, no. Kill stereotypes, good, but at the same time, don't reinforce another stereotype at the end of your speech.
Totally agree.
Anyway,
so
that's last episode.
Right. So I wanna talk about. So the problem that I'm having with this show is that, and I mentioned it a little bit in the chat. They kind of are making people, and I don't know if this is like to make up for all the crazy sexy stuff that's going on, that maybe they have to soften everything else because they have so much violence, but like I feel like they're not doing the best job being realistic. Like I feel like the book is very dark, and it's kind of like not bleak in like a no hope left kind of way, but like in like a dusty road kind of like gritty sort of way, so like even seeing the scene this week in the Somewhere in America of Salim, right? I felt like in the book they kind of give you a little bit more backstory on him. Like he doesn't have a wife. His brother-in-law is his sister's husband. And like the way that he disappoints his family is because like he's just this like ne'er-do-well. They don't go into the fact that he's gay at all. Like they don't even talk about it in the book. It kind of just happens out of nowhere. Like he leans in and he like touches the cabbie on the shoulder because the cabbie gets agitated when he's like right after he recounts the story of having to clean like the shit out of the back seat. And then like he does give him his room number, but like there's no discussion. Like there's no acknowledgement really. And I think that like the way that they shot it was really beautiful. I didn't mind at all that they were graphic. Like I thought that it was pretty poetic, especially considering how graphic they can get with heterosexual sex scenes and lesbian sex scenes. Like I feel like, like why not, man? Like it, everybody needs something to watch, and just because you're straight doesn't mean that's going to offend you, and just because you're gay doesn't mean that it's not going to be offensive. So it's like, why try to walk that fine of a line when the rest of your straight scenes are super provocative? You know what I mean? Like make them all provocative. I just wish that they would have been more honest about how difficult his experience was. Again, I feel like they're not really driving home the desperation that these people feel. You know what I mean? Like we're talking now about like how, well, was it really that great of a deal that Salim got because, he ended up, having to be this cabbie and he's going to have to clean shit out of the back seat. Yes. But at the same time in the book, they set it up like, in I guess in his faith and from his country, like disappointing your family is the worst thing you can do. Like you're bringing dishonor upon them. So like he's basically at his wit's end. You know what I mean? The part where she asks him in the show, like, why are you smiling? Like he offers that to her. He's, he smiles at her and he walks out. And in the book, it's like, oh, he thinks to himself like, oh, well, a salesman is nothing but except without a smile. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit more nuanced and subtle in the book, which I think I really appreciated, but I like that they didn't shy away from it. I do wish that they would have like, kind of gone all the way through. Like that sex scene in the book to me is a little bit longer. Like there's oral sex first to completion. And then they fall asleep together. They cuddle, they kiss. There's romance in the book, like a little bit more romance. I mean, there's still romance in this one. Like I feel like both actors did a really great job of showing vulnerability. Which I think is something that like Shadow really needs. Like he kind of does this whole like to me it feels actory sometimes when he shows vulnerability rather than it being something that's very internalized. But to me, like very little was said in that scene, and I felt like it was just very, very beautiful. You know what I mean? Like almost poetic. So like for me, I think that if they had kind of like shown them waking up in the middle of the night together, shown that conversation where he tells him like, he's like, what's your name? And he's like, oh, well, I've been called many things, but my ID has a name, but it's not my name. You know what I mean? Like that set it up for me in the book to like get to where we ended up, but there really isn't any setup, like there's not a lot of oomph that goes into it in the show. It kind of more focuses on the sex, which again, like they obviously want to shock you. And I respect the fact that they want to show all different kinds of sexuality. Like I think that's excellent, but I feel like sometimes like the sweetness and the emotion of the characters gets a little lost,
Well, Kimber told me today that Brian Fuller is gay, which I had no idea, and I've loved him forever, and like so more more to him for
Well, I
trying
read
to
that in
put
an
that
article. I
yeah.
believe, like it was Neil Gaiman was talking about how he's a straight man and Brian Fuller was gay, and they were working together to do that scene in the way that they wanted to present it, in the way that they thought was respectful. You know,
Yes, agree.
because he is working a lot directly with the show, Neil Gaiman.
Yeah.
Like that other article that I sent you. But to them, they were just saying like the most important thing was like, yeah, they're not going to shy away from dick because there's dick involved in sex, and they just want to present sexuality in a way that's like true to how sexuality is in real life.
Absolutely.
And I mean, when we think about mythology, like we think of like fertility statues and stuff like that, and it's just dicks. It's just it's dicks everywhere.
Yes.
And very figure.
Rubenesque,
yeah,
curvaceous.
Thank you. But still, like it's like those are like the basis of like old mythologies is like fertility and stuff like that.
Like exaggerated like sexual
and even
features.
And even if we're gonna argue like that it's not fertility because of, but it's still like sex or lust or any kind of pleasure kind of deity would be associated in that way, like Bacchus.
Stars has never backed away from doing stuff like this because, like, Spartacus was a big show on Stars.
Lots of it.
And if they had that too, so it's I applaud Stars for being real and raw like they are. So
now HBO needs to get on that level. We need to see some Dario Naharis dick. That's all I'm saying.
Agree. I'm down. I think that like for me, that was my favorite part of the episode, that scene. And I think so far it's the most well done Somewhere in America. I liked the scene with the Muslim woman. I don't know if it's in the book. It isn't anywhere that I've read so far. It seems to kind of be off book, but I like the fact that because the character that you see, the Anubis character, comes up later on in the book in a completely different capacity. So it was a nice surprise for me because I'm actually like on a chapter featuring this character right now. So it was a nice surprise to like see him there and be like, oh, because like even the pronunciation of his name, like what they call him, like how Mr. Nancy is Anansi. Like there's an approximation, and like then Odin is Mr. Wednesday. Like there's an approximation of his name in the book that like completely like went over my head until I watched this episode. So it was nice to make that connection. That was totally unexpected. And I'm glad to see more Mad Sweeney. I'm just surprised. Like I'm very dissatisfied with Laura. Like the Laura storyline for me. I mean, obviously the jury is still out on what's gonna happen, but like so far, like she doesn't come to him the first time after he robs the bank in the book. That scene last episode where he thinks he's dreaming or whatever, that's when she comes to him for the first time. And she's not all soft and pretty and like uncovered. She looks like a woman who was in a grave. That's why he thinks she's real. Like when he touches her, her skin is cold. Like she doesn't look like she's undead. You know what I mean? She doesn't look like she's just like pretty. And like I'm sure she'll probably, like her looks will wane in the show eventually. You know what I mean? If they're gonna follow the storyline, I mean, who knows? But I think that like it's very honest, like their portrayal of her in the book. And I felt like her interactions with Shadow, like when she calls him puppy, it's almost like the way that I imagine her is almost like Stockard Channing in Grease, like a Rizzo. Like she's this girl that's really beautiful, but she's kind of a badass, and she's kind of like, she has like a little bit of sass to her. You know what I mean? She's not this like really sweet, soft, delicate flower. Like I think
I know a girl like that.
So like I kind of just wish that she was a little ballsier. You know what I mean? Like I feel like, I mean, you're with a man who served serious time in prison. Like it's not like he was there for 6 months. Like he was in prison for like several years and then got out early. So like clearly whatever it is that he must have done must have been serious. So like how is that girl coming home to that guy? You know what I mean? Like it just like I feel like she should be a little grimier, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that Corey and Mac want to come in as well.
Yeah, we should change over. I just want to say with Laura, I am interested to see show's aesthetic with her.
Well, next week is a Laura episode. I know you guys were talking about the trailer for next week.
Yeah.
It was like a Laura trailer, so that's what's
happy about that.
So
Yeah.
we'll see, and I think that's good because I want to know more about Robbie, and I think I want to see how they portray him on the show.
But we know
Agreed.
something about Robbie.
Yeah.
We know all we need to know about him.
All right, then I hope the Laura episode is just her getting the dick pic.
More dick pics.
It's just 45 minutes of her looking at the phone, going, and then finally going, down, boy.
One last tacky thought before I leave you. So, I mean, I get it. You want to make his dick like really big and ridiculous so that Shadow feels bad about himself and is like, fuck, my wife was banging this dick, right? But like, if we're going to be real, okay? If we're going to be real, she bit through the penis and it was lodged in her throat because she was giving oral sex while they were on the way to wherever they were going and they got into a car accident. I don't know what kind of vampire teeth or shark teeth this chick has in her grill to bite through that thing, but I think that's a little silly. I feel like Robbie in the book has like 5.5 inches, which is a respectable size. That's average. And I think that she clamped down and he lost it, but not that fucking, that thing's like as big as an arm. Like what the, I mean,
I always thought like the steering column got like, and then like she like Pac-Man that.
Jason's dying in the chat.
I thought like because of the front of the car got crunched and then she just went like. But
so you believe he has a really big dick in the book? You believe it's like?
I never like.
Tom's like I didn't think about that.
Maybe I maybe length. I didn't think girth.
Well, it wouldn't matter though because like the reason that his dick is huge on the show is because he gets to see a dick pic on the show, and I don't believe that was a thing at that time.
Right.
Correct.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah. So
they were faxing dick pics.
So it didn't need to be a massive dick in the book.
So that's just my 2 cents. Anyway.
All right, and with that closeout, that was the lovely Candace, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Corey and Mac would like to get in.
Bye, Kimber's leaving.
You heard, Tom?
Yeah, I'm ready to bring them in. Let's see. So Corey Mac, and then we'll wrap up.
Well, in Shawshank Redemption, remember, he gave the whole explanation about biting a dick off, so it's possible.
I don't think anyone's saying it's impossible. Mac, I need your email.
Wasn't like Tampa Bay Buccaneers suck or something like that?
I don't think it was. It was Buck or something like that.
Why don't you show him your shirt?
Oh, guys, check out this Green Eggs and Stan shirt I got. It was
Nice.
The Stan Lee unboxing video we just did. Kimber got another Stan Lee box in the mail, and so we did another unboxing. Check that out. And we already before the next week's OSP on Monday, Aftermath.
Yeah. We're gonna be discussing Backlash, I think it is. Is it Backlash? I have no idea what the next review is. Backlash? I think it's Backlash. I'm pretty sure it's Backlash. There's so many pay-per-views. One last thing before we move on. Do you think David Lynch meant to the 25?
No.
He's like, you won't see me for 20 years?
Nope, never. I think it was a coincidence and it worked out.
Hello? Oh, I'm here.
Yeah, what's going on, Corey? We're just waiting on Mac now.
Yeah, I just needed email.
Hey, Mac, we need your email.
I would just like to say that I think this is the most times I've ever heard the word dick used in any YouTube video ever.
Tick 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 tick.
And I always thought that at the end of the book, Shadow, after feeling all nervous about this,
No spoilers.
just unroll the thing. Hey, Mac.
Over?
I still don't have his email.
Oh, Homeboy's yelling. Okay, my bad. No, I always thought that at the end, Shadow should just unroll his.
Don't spoil.
I just thought that. I'm not saying that happened. That never happened.
Oh, okay. Or it might happen. We'll see.
We already have Candace ruining stuff, so we can't have more people ruining it.
No, I don't even remember the end of the book. I read it, and I totally forgot the end of the book because I read it like 20 years ago.
Kimber says, "Welcome to Spoiler Shake Panel."
Spoiler shape. What's a spoiler shaped like?
Or awkward.
It's like a long fin that goes in the back of a car.
The Buckfan 1988 at Gmail.
Doug called it awkward paddle.
It's not wrong. Yeah, kind of, Candace, but it's fine. If anything, if you were paying attention to the trailers, they already spoiled that, and in the end, they spoil it too, with the title card. Have you seen the title card, Cal,
What's up?
No,
for the logo at the
I
end?
don't. No, I don't look at anything like that.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, hey,
What's
Mac.
going on?
I'm just making sure y'all can hear me, but okay. All right, so okay, let me first talk about let me go through the episode piece by piece from the beginning to the end.
Here we go.
You know me, Corey. I go in steps. So this is how I am. So for those of you that are probably going to get used to me, I do stuff in steps. Let's start at the beginning. I like the beginning. I love it because the woman was going. I liked the way she was just like she was reaching for something. I thought, yeah, she's something gonna happen, and she was like, and then the Grim Reaper came in there. I just knew he was the Grim Reaper off of looking, and he said, "You're dead." And I was like, she's like, "I'm not dead," and I was like, "Oh, she's dead." And then I liked when she climbed up the stairs, and then she was like, got out of her heart, and I felt like the wages, and I was like, I was trying to figure out what religion was this, and I felt like it was. I knew it was something different, but like the wages, because the heart was sin and the feather, and it was and the end. I did like it. I liked it. And she said, I remember she said something about, I don't want to go to where my father was because I don't want to go there. But I kind of dig that. So I was wondering what was that type of religion? What was that supposed to be?
It's old Egyptian, Anubis.
That's
Yep.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah. When you go in the underworld, they weigh your heart against a feather, and if it weighs more than a feather, then you're going out.
Yeah, that sucks. But because she was good. Uh, all right. Let me talk about it. I have my own theory on the cabbie situation. Everybody, I think everybody's saying it's love. I more so think it's a transferal.
Mhm.
I think it's a transferal because if you look at the end, you notice that he started saying, I only have 3 wishes, and he said that at the beginning.
I can squash that right now.
Sorry.
We can in episode 2, we saw him in the salesman's suit when
Mhm.
Shadow walks by the gin, implying that happened beforehand, and he still had the fire in his eyes. So,
Wait a minute. We saw that guy in episode 2? I don't remember that.
Yep.
The Jin, yeah, he's the one in the diner with Mr. Wednesday, and when he's walking out, as Shadow walks in, and Shadow sees the guy's eyes on fire.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I'm blind. I am blind and all.
If you say it is, I got to go back and watch it. I thought it was a transferal.
Mac, that's the same thing I thought when I was telling Tom, because not knowing what the episode was about, and I didn't notice the blue suit and all that. And all that. So I said that at the time. I'm like, oh, maybe he got the powers now because he says, I don't grant wishes. But then Tom told me that, this guy was wearing the suit previously. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just got to go back and watch it. But I felt like when I first saw it, I was like, he transferred himself to him somehow. So he now has the power. So I was like,
maybe that's how you make new Jin. Who knows?
yeah,
We don't
you never know.
We don't read enough about Jin. Like even they say that in the show. Like the only thing I can think of where a Jin has actually been like even they attempted is Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
For a couple seasons they had Jin in there, and I don't even know if they did them right.
Yeah.
That is the Bobby Singer movie.
Because she was saying that the whole thing with the payphone felt very supernatural with like Bobby doing the headquarters stuff. Anyway,
I just want to. Okay.
That end scene when he's saying that I don't grant wishes is kind of him mocking the Jinn because now he's in a situation where he's kind of has a new life and stuff like that. So his wish was kind of granted. And if anything, I feel like he granted 2 wishes because he actually had a real moment with a person that, he's not like disappointing in any way.
Yeah.
I would like to say one thing about the Anubis thing, with Anubis being the uh, the Grim Reaper and stuff. He was very much like Terry Pratchett's depiction of death in Discworld. Very, very much. He was very kind, and he's not there to mess with you. He's just there to move you on to the next, wherever you're going. And there was a very definite touch of Pratchett in there.
Yeah, well, we both know that Gaiman and Pratchett inspired each other and worked together. So that is a cool
Easter egg almost.
almost an Easter egg. Matt in the chat was also talking about that the Wishmaster also had Jin in it.
I also want to say something about that police officer that was just doing his job. I said this in the chat. I just want to say this out loud. I feel like that police officer need to be fired. He should be fired. I don't care who you are. He just saw something like, yes, sir. I was like, so I'm sitting there like, okay, officer, so you're not telling me that you don't hear no freaking cars or wind or nothing through the phone? I mean, I know I'm not a detective or nothing, or I just know that if I hear breeze, what are you near me? Let me beat my horn. Boop, boop. Oh, you're right beside me. You're going to jail. So I thought he should have been, fired. I'm just being honest here.
We've already seen that there's some trickster tendencies to Wednesday, and I feel like all you need to do is put out a believable, like about the airport when he was like, my wife, blah blah blah. Like he instantly won that person over just because of how believable he was. And I think as long as you have an enforceable scenario, that anyone you're going to talk to is going to ignore little details like that.
And Candace was also saying that some of that was failure in they updated certain aspects of,
but not others.
And not others, and that's a product of them not updating realistically how that would be nowadays as compared to when the book was written.
We also know though that Wednesday has a distrust towards cell phones, and this could be a only use that payphone, don't use a cell phone, because who knows if that's something to do with technology boy or something.
Technology. I think technology, if he uses a cell phone, it automatically connects him to technology. I think that's sort of the aspect.
Or they know where he is.
That too.
Yeah. So it's sort of like that's the payphone is of the old and the cell phone is of the new. So it makes sense for him to use the payphone.
In Rick Riordan, no demigods or any gods can use that type of communication, because if they do, then the demons will know where they are. So,
exactly.
You guys didn't even mention, but when they went into the bank the first time, there was that shot through the security camera, and you saw Media's eye for a second. So
I didn't know
stuff like that.
Well, I want to believe that Media has certain, he could probably see certain things. I want to say that, how can I put it? What's a good way of putting it? You know how you just got somebody just hey, I know where you are sometimes, but I don't, you guys have a certain point in place where, okay, I know where you are, but I'm not going to attack you right now because, you're, everything is, I think Media has a certain plan. He has a plan, but he just don't want to do nothing right now. He just letting them know that, and I guess Wednesday just letting him go on with what he knows. This is just my theory, and I know it sounds crazy.
Well, we should establish that media and technology are two different aspects, and Gillian Anderson is doing a great job representing media. She's awesome. And she kind of insinuated that she's playing the long game when she was talking to him in episode 2. So you're not too far off.
Okay. Also, I want to talk about what was it? Before I talk about the ending, which I feel like I just want to say I told everybody so. I really, really, really want to talk about the snow, because I really enjoyed the fact he was like, just think of snow. I'm gonna do it in his voice, just think of the snow. Think of snow. Think of it. And I just want, and I was just like, and it really did snow. So I'm sitting there thinking, I would love to have the power to control the weather. So I'm wondering, I kept hearing you saying it's Cancer. He's sort of like this. What is Shadow? Because something's up with that. I don't, how can he control the weather? Is that said in the season 1?
that is if he is controlling the weather at all. We already saw that Wednesday is the one who has the ability to manipulate the weather. So is this just Wednesday? These are just thoughts I had when reading the book. Is Wednesday doing a con on him? You know what I mean? Or is there more to it?
Or maybe just being around, like together, could enhance.
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. The
Or
just being near Wednesday
Shadow
is
is slowly believing and everything going on, that could be reinforcing Wednesday.
proximity.
You know what I mean? So I didn't know at this point going in the books, and I feel like they're doing a good job of keeping us in the dark.
Yeah,
if you ever want to have a private conversation about it and want me, I will tell you if you want to know, but I won't say it.
No,
okay.
No,
No, because then they might slip up and they'll tell me, and I'll get so upset. Nobody should know. Just enjoy the
Nobody
show.
should know. Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
I
As
will
it.
enjoy the show. I am going to enjoy the show no matter what. So, but okay, let's talk about the main thing. Let's talk about the ending, which I'll tell you. I told you so. I told you so. I said that I was a little bit wrong, but I thought that once Shadow put that coin in the ground, I thought somehow, some way, this woman's going to come back. That coin is going to be the reason, and it all came full circle. So when I watched the episode, because I watched it with Corey, and I was like, as soon as I saw him go open up that casket looking for his coin, and and he opened the casket, and I was sitting there thinking, she's not in there, she's not in there, she's not in there, she's not in there, and then next thing you know, I saw her in that room. I was like, I told you. I was just so happy. So, but I just felt like that coin was something weird. I was something weird about that coin. I just knew that she was coming back when that coin hit the ground. I just had a feeling.
Yeah. In the book, the coin kind of has a little bit more of a journey, I think, which is a little interesting, but I like what they're doing with it in this one, and I really liked the Matt Sweeney sequences. That I liked how his sequence went along with the reveal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. We're gonna have to wrap it up, so I just want. Is there like one thing that you wanted to like share, like that you got the most from in this episode, or like your biggest question?
No, I've covered everything.
I'm good now.
All right. Well, we're going to do this again in 1 week. We'll see you then, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we'll be doing Twin Peaks, the Twin Peaks recap show, because of the resurgence of Twin Peaks coming this Sunday for my birthday.
All right. Well, happy early birthday. I'm sorry if I can't tell you that now.
Thanks.
Happy birthday.
Welcome.
Don't jump on the bandwagon, Corey. This is Maximal.
Okay. Have a screw.
Come by 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow at Twin Peaks.
Okay.
And wish me an early birthday then. And then we'll talk about season 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks and Fire Walk with Me, the prequel movie.
I will try my best to watch Twin Peaks because I've been hearing about this show. I just got to get some free time. I'm doing my channel and doing this, but I'll promise I'll watch it and come back at y'all with that.
Yeah, I never finished Twin Peaks, so I'll be there so you can recap it for me.
If Mac watches Twin Peaks and also American Gods because of us, he's gonna be like, man, these people watch some weird ass television.
It's
I
true.
am a simple Southern boy from South Carolina, and I watch American Gods. I was sitting there like, this is weird. Okay, and then I watched it. Then I'm gonna watch Twin Peaks. I was like, this is weird, but why do I like it? But okay.
I was drawn to this particular channel because they watch weird stuff. That's why I first showed up.
No,
You're not wrong. We do
Odd
watch
Shape
weird-
channel. We do the weird stuff.
Don't worry.
Odd is-
All right, I love it. I love it.
All right,
All right,
guys.
man.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by. And you want we have a little bit more time. Do you want to quick plug anything you got going on? I know you just put up a new video, Mac.
Yeah, I'm doing I do my channel called the Game Fixer Channel. I review video games, I review movies, TV, anything. Today I just did my latest video on I did my latest review on Mega Man 7. Corey was part of it. He was the voice of the controller. So go and check it out. Also, I'm doing Bucks Plays. I did DuckTales this week. This week I'm gonna do Deadpool. Anybody that want to join me, come hit me up. I'd love to have your own book plays and let you talk junk.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
the Tech Podcast.
you already asked me, and I already said anytime. So just iron out the details with me whenever you want to do anything.
Gotcha. Love to have you.
And if you're looking, if you're ever curious to see, if we have guests on here and they make some content, and you're like, oh, I can't remember what that's called, and do I really have to go through an hour-long podcast to find out? All the guest content creators, they have their current episodes, or at least a link to their we have a link to Corey's SoundCloud. We don't have his most recent episode because we can't feature SoundCloud episodes like that. But we do have, I actually have to update Max, but we have all the most recent episodes of Cal's Aftermath. That's up there. So, if you ever have a question, outshapechannel.com. And, usually you can get your answers there. Corey, any tech podcasts coming up or anything like that?
At Tech Podcast 1 on Twitter.
Tech Podcast
That's
1
it.
on Twitter. Yeah, go look us up. Watch, go listen to me and Corey talk about Robotech and other things. This last week we had Billy. This week we're gonna have Evan, and we did a skit with doing. It was really funny. We did a skit of Star Trek, and it was super funny. I was voice acting Spock, and
Nice.
Corey here was Captain Kirk, and it was pretty funny. So get ready to watch that.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. Well, let's Cal, we got your Aftermath coming up next Monday, right? 7:00?
Yeah, so 7:00. We're gonna do the Aftermath doing Backlash so that we can have OSP right after that. We're trying to finish before OSP starts. That should give us plenty of time to finish. I'll be able to stay for the whole OSP, which I'm excited for because it's mythology, and Vicky's gonna take care of my stuff for me on Tuesday. But unfortunately, next Tuesday I won't be able to participate in American Odds because, as you guys know, Gabrielle's going away for dental school, so we're trying to spend as much time with her as possible before she goes away. So we got tickets to go see Baywatch, me, Gabs, Vicky, and Rob. So we'll be there next day.
Yeah.
Well, I also expect a report card to put on the blog for the next pay-per-view event from you, Cal.
And hopefully we get the bells.
If you like Baywatch enough, write an article for that. We're always looking for more article writing. So,
and next Tuesday, I will be filling in for Cal.
All right.
So,
and I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.
So,
yes, Twin Peaks.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. So we're gonna sign off, everybody. Thanks for coming by. Have a great night.
See you guys.
Oh, look at me sweat. It's gross.
It's freaking hot.
That's one
Bye, Kimber.
finish the show. Yeah. Bye, guys.